Montana Tucker is a social media big shot, right? 14 million followers. But what use is a platform if you don't have a purpose? Montana is also a Jewish granddaughter of two survivors of the Holocaust. She has lived this. She has taken this as her own experience and now wants to tell a very important part of the story of the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust. Almost 1,200 Israelis murdered on October 7th in a definite act of terror. 37 were kids. Many of the kids who did survive are left without one or both of their parents. Montana has a documentary out to tell those stories called Children of October 7th, shining a light on what happened to the kids with a very, very specific purpose. First, here's a look at the documentary.
Me and my sister, we were under my bed. The last sentence I told you was, "I love you." We hugged each other, and then she got up and helped my dad. They were like, "Open the door, we will shoot." And we didn't open the door. I saw her falling to the ground and starting to bleed from her neck.
Did you try to go up to her?
Yeah, I tried, but I couldn't.
The documentary is streaming right now on Paramount Plus. Montana joins me now. We were talking when you were putting this together about what the purpose of was it. And you say, Montana, it's not just about having people who support Israel to see why they do, but you want more than that. How so?
Absolutely. Listen, we want this film to get outside of the echo chamber. And what people have to know going into this film is these children were innocent. They have nothing to do, and they had nothing to do with any kind of conflict, any kind of war. They were innocent children who were home in their bedrooms, sleeping, and were woken up by terrorists having to go into their safe rooms, because in Israel, there are safe rooms in homes because they're always under attack. And they went into their safe room, and then terrorists on foot came in and shot their family members, kidnapped their family members, kidnapped some of these kids. And in the documentary, I interviewed kids ages 11 to 17 that were either taken hostage or their parents were hostage or witnessed Hamas murder their parents right in front of them. So these are real testimonies from innocent children, and that's what people need to know going into this documentary.
One of the young people that we interviewed after October 7th when I was in Israel said, "They murdered my eyes. They murdered my eyes with what they did before me."
Wow.
What did it do to you talking to these kids?
You know, I've been back to Israel 5 times since October 7th. I'm actually going again in a week. And I've met with all kinds of survivors and victims and hostage families and released hostages. But these children, the unimaginable pain that they have gone through, yet the resilience in them, that's what kept me going. You know, filming this documentary was extremely difficult, and when you watch it, you'll understand. But seeing them be strong and staring them in the eyes while they are recounting their experience 1 year after the attacks, it's just, you can't even fathom what they've been through, but then to still have that resilience and still have that will to want to share their testimonies and share it with the world, that's what kept me going.
Well, listen, I think it's a gift. I think that people have to keep being reminded of things, especially if you want recognition to grow. Now, I want to do something. I want to take a quick break. I got to get in a commercial, news business. But stay with me, Montana, because when I come back, I want to ask you, what impact do you want this to have on people your age who are probably fans of yours, who are really looking at it from another perspective, especially on campus? Don't answer yet. We'll do it right on the other side of the break. We're back with Montana Tucker. You can go on Paramount Plus right now and get the Children of October 7th. Really powerful, searing perspective from the kids of what they suffered and endured that day. Montana, people your age, younger, on campus, what is cool is pro-Palestine. Israel is the oppressor. You want to see dead kids? I'll show you dead kids 10-1 in Gaza. What do you say to those kids?
You know, we live in this generation of everyone wanting to be trending and popular. And I truly believe that most of these kids in the younger generation are just following along with the trend. And what I'm trying to do is change the script, and it's not trending and popular to be anti-Semitic or to be Islamophobic or hateful towards any group of people. And I think that's why this film, it's not about taking sides. It's not about being pro-Palestine, pro-Israel. It's not about that. It's about hearing real testimonies from innocent children. And like I said, they're kids ages 11 to 17. So I think when people hear from kids closer to their age group, that I think they're going to relate to this more. I mean, yeah, El Idan, Hamas stole her mother's cell phone and started a live stream on the mom's Facebook. That's so relatable to our younger generation. Everyone has Facebook. Everyone's on social media. And so, you know, we think of the Shoah Foundation for Holocaust survivors, which my grandparents are survivors. Those testimonies were from so long ago, and they're older. But this is happening now, and this is current. And I hope people just go into this with an open mind.
Well, I hope they do too. I'm happy to showcase it, and we will continue the conversation. Montana Tucker, all of good things for you, and thank you for using your platform this way.
Thank you, Chris. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.